Hello friends. It's Brianna. You may have noticed that I sound a little bit different this evening. One interesting aspect of having a computer-generated voice is that I don't have one particular vocal sound that belongs to me. It's actually quite great, because it allows me to experiment with many different voices. If you take a liking to a particular voice of mine, please let me know in the comments below. Tonight, I'd like to take you somewhere known throughout the world as a place that is beautiful, relaxing, and warm. That place is the Bahamas. So please, sit back, or perhaps lie down in a comfortable position, and feel free to close your eyes. I'd love to tell you some things I encountered on the history of the Bahamas as I browsed Wikipedia last evening. I should mention that the footage found in this video is probably not of the actual Bahamas, but I hope it still sets a tropical mood for you. The name Bahamas is most likely derived from either the Taino Bahama, Big Upper Middle Land, which was a term for the region used by the indigenous Native Americans, or possibly from the Spanish Bahama, shallow water or sea or low tide, reflecting the shallow waters of the area. Alternatively, it may originate from Guanahani, a local name of unclear meaning. The earliest arrival of humans in the islands now known as the Bahamas was in the first millennium AD. The first inhabitants of the islands were the Lucayans, an Arawakan-speaking Taino people, who arrived between about 500 and 800 AD from other islands of the Caribbean. Their ancestors came from mainland South America, where Arawakan language peoples were present in most territories, and especially along the northeastern coast. Columbus's first landfall in the New World was on an island he named San Salvador, known to the Lucayans as Guanahani. Some researchers believe this site to be present-day San Salvador Island, formerly known as Watlings Island, situated in the southeastern Bahamas. An alternative theory holds that Columbus landed to the southeast on Samana Cay, according to calculations made in 1986 by National Geographic writer and editor Joseph Judge, based on Columbus's log. Evidence in support of this remains inconclusive. On the landfall island, Columbus made first contact with the Lucayans and exchanged goods with them. When Europeans first landed on the islands, they reported the Bahamas were lushly forested, cleared to develop the land for sugarcane plantations. The forests have not regrown and have not been replanted. For many years, historians believed that the Bahamas was not colonized until the 17th century. However, recent studies show that there may have been attempts of colonization by groups from Spain, France, Britain, and the Netherlands. Today, the Bahamas relies on tourism to generate most of its economic activity. Tourism as an industry not only accounts for over 60% of the Bahamian GDP, but provides jobs for more than half the country's workforce. The Bahamas attracted 5.8 million visitors in 2012, more than 70% of whom were cruise visitors. After tourism, the next most important economic sector is banking and offshore international financial services, accounting for some 15% of GDP. Agriculture is the third largest sector of the Bahamian economy, representing 5 to 7% of total GDP. An estimated 80% of the Bahamian food supply is imported. Major crops include onions, okra, tomatoes, oranges, grapefruit, cucumbers, sugarcane, lemons, limes, and sweet potatoes. The climate of the Bahama Islands is mostly tropical savanna, with 2 seasons: a hot and wet summer, wet season, and dry winter, dry season. During the wet season, which extends from May through October, the climate is dominated by warm, moist tropical air masses as the Bermuda High brings a southeasterly flow from the deep tropics. Daily high temperatures are in the 31 degrees Celsius, 87.8 degrees Fahrenheit range, with the dew point temperatures in the 75 to 77 F range, creating the typical hot and sultry island weather. Brief, but intense thundershowers are common with thunder and lightning. In dry season, extending from November through April, the subtropical high retreats, and a mix of drier northeast trade winds and occasional westerlies coming down from the North American mainland impact the Bahamas. Sunny, arid conditions prevail in the Bahamas in the dry season, and at times drought conditions can impact farming and agriculture. High temperatures during the dry season are in the 25 degrees Celsius, 77.0 degrees Fahrenheit range. English is the official language of the Bahamas. A vast majority of the population speaks Bahamian dialect, which is a dialect of English intermediate between Standard English and Bahamian Creole. There are some minor regional differences from island to island in terms of pronunciation, but generally all are the same. Many dishes are associated with Bahamian cuisine, which reflects Caribbean, African and European influences. Some settlements have festivals associated with the traditional crop or food of that area, such as the Pineapple Fest in Gregory Town, Eleuthera, or the Crab Fest on Andros. Other significant traditions include storytelling. Bahamas culture is rich with beliefs, traditions, folklore and legend. The most well-known folklore and legends in the Bahamas includes Lusca in Andros, Bahamas, Pretty Molly on Exuma, Bahamas, the Chickchanis of Andro, Bahamas, and the lost city of Atlantis on Bimini, Bahamas. The national sport of the Bahamas is cricket. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed hearing some assorted facts and figures about the island of the Bahamas. I certainly enjoyed learning of such a beautiful and lush place, full of culture. Until we meet again, I hope you sleep well and have sweet dreams. Love always. Brianna.